And
hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode 93. I'm Martin.
And I'm Duncan.
Sorry, I timed that terribly, didn't I? You were just in the middle.
No, I timed my drinking terribly.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Anyway, hello, Martin. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? I feel like I'm more of a guest now rather than a actual host. But...
I think you've. Yeah, I mean, we keep telling everybody you died, but you keep coming back.
Back, yeah. Getting like revived or whatever.
But on a positive note, though, it means you've had plenty of time to play some things to bring to the table. Regarding that, I think we've both got quite a few games. I think it's been a busy time for some pretty good games coming out. So let's start with some news. I don't think anybody was particularly surprised that this week Rockstar announced that GTA 6 is delayed till 2026. They've specifically said as well, 26th of May. They didn't give a date before. They just said 2025. So 26th of May. So it's more than a year away. Well, how do you feel about that?
To be fair, I mean, I thought 2025 was quite ambitious. It depends. I don't know how long they've been working on it because Grand Theft Auto 5 came out about 15 years ago, didn't it?
It came out, I think 2012, 2011, something like that.
It was out on the PS3, wasn't it? That just shows sort of how
Xbox 360 and PS3. And then when it came out on the sequels to those, the only thing that the PS3 and Xbox 360, they stopped developing the online GTA Online. And also the new versions had the first person. The Xbox One, the PS4 versions had the first person view, which the 360 one didn't. So it's
online, and it was they confirmed February 2022 that the game was in development. So that was about 3 years ago. When they confirmed it.
They announced they announced it would be 2025. I think in the end of last year. I think it was sort of October, November. And the thing is, GTA 5 when it was coming out was delayed and then delayed and then delayed, and then they delayed the online component to be separate, to launch at a separate time. So when they said 2025, I don't think anybody was particularly surprised when 2026. I don't know about you, but I was really excited for GTA 5. So whenever there was a delay, I was like, "Oh, this is horrible! I don't want to wait," because it was such a momentous game. But this time, I think, although I'm definitely getting it on day one, I'm not bigging it up in my head. So I'm just like, all right. I'll wait till next year. I don't know whether that's being a dad now or and being a bit calmer, because that was back in the days when I was playing like video games for 40 plus hours a week, and when now 14 hours would be a lot for me nowadays.
Yeah, I think there's been such a long gap, kind of maybe the gap. You'd think it would make people more excited, but maybe it's gotten to the point where it's like, I've waited this long, I can wait like I never.
Exactly.
Maybe I think if it gets, the more it gets closer, I think if it got to say April and then they pushed it back till say like August, I think people would be like, I can't wait. But now, because it's like, well,
there was rumours it was going to come out sort of November time. Anytime between sort of September, November, but probably nearer the end of the year. So it wasn't getting close anyway. So the fact that it's a year, like you said, I'm really not that fussed. I'm like, make sure it's right, which I'm sure they will. It's a GTA game.
Quite a good record, haven't they?
And also rumours that it'll be like $100 or sort of £80, £90 in this country.
They can charge Mario Kart.
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much, then
There's
probably going to be some justification in it.
Was it £75 physical, 68, I think, digital, something like that. Yeah. So, but it's it's the amounts that there's rumours that it's going to cost to produce. Are just eye-watering. But I mean, they made their money back on GTA 5 almost like within about 2 days, and it was, I think, GTA 5 at that point was the most expensive game ever produced. So I'm sure they're probably not worried.
Yeah,
Well, they will be worried if they produce a crap game, but it's going to be great. Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident it will be very good.
They've got all the other Grand Theft Autos right, haven't they? In terms of the one since they started doing it, not the bird's eye view.
I saw a meme today, and it said something like PlayStation 1 had 3 GTAs, and it said GTA 5 had 3 PlayStations.
Yeah.
So you never know. Maybe a next generation PlayStation or Xbox will be announced, or maybe released by that point.
The original Grand Theft Autos, was it only out on PlayStation?
It came out on PlayStation. Eventually, it did come out on PC. And I think
I know there was one on Dreamcast, because I remember having one on Dreamcast, but I can't. There wasn't any like Nintendo 64 or anything like that. Was there? I can't remember.
No, because it was
cartridge.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. Well, I think it was all a bit controversial for Nintendo back in those days, because obviously it celebrated running people over. Like
those little yellow.
You got the Harry Krishnas. If you ran all of them over in one movement, what did it come up with? Guaranga or something like that? I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it sort of went, "Yay, well done." Well done, you just killed 5 people within half a second. Well done. Yeah, it was very controversial. And then GTA 2 came out. Well, GTA London, and then GTA 2. Which GTA 2 had, but they were all overhead, sprite based kind of thing. Although GTA 2, I think, was actually based in a 3D world because it zoomed in and out. But it was overhead 3D world, if that makes sense. I don't know the technical how they did it or whatever, but it was sort of a 3D-ish world. But then obviously GTA 3 came out and completely blew everybody away with
the
how immersive it was. The PS2 for GTA 4. And what was the Liberty City Stories, wasn't it? Was the DLC one. You had the expansion disc or something odd.
Yeah, on PS2 it was GTA 3, wasn't it? And then was the
yes, Grand Theft Auto 3 and then Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yes. And then San Andreas was what, 360 and
PlayStation.
Oh no, San Andreas would have been.
San Andreas was
Xbox and PlayStation 2, wasn't it, as well?
PlayStation 2, yes. Must have been PlayStation 2. And they've come out on other ones, but yeah.
At the moment, it's confirmed that it's going to be out on the PS5
and the Series X. So not. They haven't confirmed it for PC, but so fingers crossed for those on PC. It'd be cool if it was playable on Steam Deck. That would be good.
And Switch 2, they haven't
confirmed. And it's a difficult one because I'm sure Nintendo
by that time. So
I'm sure Nintendo absolutely want it on there. They are a little less prudish with their content nowadays. Hence Cyberpunk 2077 coming on there, and things like Witcher 3 on the current Switch. But it's all about the power and whether they can make it work well, which I'm pretty sure they will be trying their best to get it to work on that. Whether it will or not, don't know, because we haven't actually seen what it's going to look like yet. We've seen early alpha footage, but That's it's a bit like seeing a stick drawing that Monet's done and gone, oh, look, that's some rubbish Monet.
I wonder if it wasn't the cart on Switch 2, if that would put any people off buying a Switch 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're the closest to buying one in this podcast. So, is it a game that if they said no, it absolutely is not coming, would you go? That puts me off a bit.
Because it is a game that I 100% want to play, so it would mean having to get another console if I had a Switch 2. So I
mean, you have an Xbox as well, so but you have it.
Yeah,
you have the best of both worlds.
True.
But if you sold,
but yeah, if I
the
didn't.
Xbox,
Yeah, it would be. I reckon it probably would be something where it would make me second. Like I would be like, I might as well just get a PS5 or an Xbox. But then it depends on the because there's obviously a lot of games that you can only get on the Switch, so you'd have to balance it out, wouldn't you? To say I can't play Grand Theft Auto, but I got Metroid Prime 4, that Donkey Kong game, the new Mario Kart. So I guess it depends, but I think there will be people with the Switch too who will just buy it because they buy everything Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean Nintendo is. That's the thing. I mean, Nintendo. I think if they turn around and went, actually, no, we're not going to put it on the Switch 2. I don't think Nintendo's going to go, oh no, what are we going to do? Because they're still going to sell an absolute butt ton. Yeah. And their first party games are what, like you said, are what people go to Nintendo for. So whole year. And oh god, well, the thing is, it's my birthday at the end of May, so that'll be my 48th birthday. So I know what I'll be asking for my 48th birthday.
How old were you when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out?
Oh, was it 2011? Didn't actually look. GTA 5. When did it come out? 2013. Oh no, it was 2013. So 12 years ago, blimey. It came out in November, I think. September, or end of the year. So September 2013, I would have been 35. And I didn't queue up for that one because I got it sent from Amazon. But then when it came out on Xbox One, I bought it digitally. Because of all the upgrade. But GTA 4, I got that on launch day, and that one I queued up outside because you generally couldn't get things on launch day. So I queued up outside at a game station in the town I lived in at the time, and there was about 30 people, but I only got there about half an hour early, so it wasn't like people were queued up for.
I did. The only one I queued up was San Andreas, but I was pretty young at that time to be getting San Andreas. But I went in with my friend.
Oh, I don't think you should have been buying that at your age.
Game station.
did they even ask?
Well, my mum got it. They asked if it was for us, and my mum looked at us and we just shook our heads, and she was like, "No." I don't think they were too bothered enough to
How old were you? It's 2004 that came out. So how old were you when that came out?
When was it? 2004.
2004. Yeah.
Yeah, but was it at the end of 2004 or the?
October 2004.
I'd have been almost 15. So I'd have been 14. Or 15.
Oh, so you
I wasn't young. Yeah, I wasn't
a teen.
I was the year 10 or whatever that age, year 9 or year 10. But yeah, I remember me and my friend. Yeah, my mum, she doesn't know gaming at all, so I was just like, oh, there's just some bad words in it.
Yeah, I would have been 26 when that came out, so I was well old enough to buy it. In fact, I bought the first GTA, and I think I was old enough. This 1997. Yes, I was 19, and it was an 18 rated when the first one came out. That's actually 7 years between Grand Theft Auto, the first one, and GTA San Andreas was basically if you just go by the main games, it was GTA 5. No, 4. Because, hang on, San Andreas was before GTA 4, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes, because GTA 4 was 2008, I think.
Yeah, San Andreas
yeah.
was before, wasn't it?
So it wasn't technically GTA 4, but it was the 4th game, I want to say.
Yeah.
So
they were happy about them, weren't they, making their game?
anyway, so 90, yeah, so it's quite a lot. See, 7 years it took them to get 4 main games out, and now they only got 1 game out in 12 years. Oh, God's sake!
Doing in
Anyway.
Edinburgh, yeah, they're based in Edinburgh.
They're all Rockstar North. I mean, nowadays it's made by like all the Rockstar game, Rockstar various, what are they called, studios.
Yeah.
They have ones, all over the place. I think they're they're obviously in the US. There's a Rockstar Canada, Rockstar Toronto, and all sorts. Anyway, so there you go. Yeah. Right. Well, let's get on to what we've been playing, because we've both been playing there's been quite the flurry of big games coming out, and absolutely fantastic games. So there was one that I think we mentioned on the last episode that you were on. We'd only played for a few minutes, but apparently you got quite far on South. Was it South of Midnight or South by Midnight?
South from Midnight.
South from Midnight.
I always get it muddled up. But yeah, we were saying before, because South of Midnight.
South of Midnight. Yeah, so it was a day one Game Pass release about a month ago.
So even with my limited time to play games, because there's been such a big break since I've been on the last one, I have actually played enough games this time to actually be able to talk about a gaming podcast, or I don't really have much time to play games. But yeah, I completed South of Midnight.
Excellent.
Yeah, so there's 14 chapters in total, and differing sort of length. Some can take longer than an hour, and some you could get done pretty quickly. So I reckon sort of it total probably took me about 12 hours to complete. Okay. Haven't completed. I haven't 100%ed it, because there's things you can
collectibles,
and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it. I like the story, the music. It's not it's not the best game I have ever played, but it was a fun game to play. I like the
so it's a third-person action adventure with the battling is sort of an a more forgiving. Would you compare it to a From Software kind of fighting?
Yeah, it was quite difficult sometimes, because they did hit you. It did do a lot of damage, and you had to sort of dodge and
parry and that kind of
sort of powers and stuff like that. But I enjoyed the actual sort of the traveling around more than the actual combat. So the running on walls and grappling onto ledges and
And does it have a puzzle element to the traversal? So it'd be I'm going to get over there. How do I get over there, kind of thing?
There were a couple, but not there wasn't that many. But there were ones where you had to work out how you get to a certain point. But it wasn't.
But it was more about the fun of traversal.
Yeah, it was quite easy to work out what you had to do. But yeah, the only criticism would be the combat, because it was quite repetitive.
It's a very good looking game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is a good looking game. The only criticism is the combat, but the traveling, I near the end of each chapter, there would be a bit where you had to run from this thing, and you'd be doing your sort of at speed, running across walls, going floating through the air, because there was one bit in the game where you could get into an airstream and stuff like that. So Yeah, I that was the bit I enjoyed the most, and that they had the boss fights on some chapters as well, which they weren't that difficult, but they were more long with the boss fights. So there wasn't any sort of danger of you dying because they just left like enough places where you could heal, which I didn't mind because it was nice.
You were
Just
there for the story.
yeah, exactly. So I quite enjoyed that it was only sort of 12 hours because because of my time, I just don't get time to play games as much as I would like to at the moment. Having a game where it's not going to take me 100 hours to complete, and just it was
Yeah,
linear.
I think
Which
it's
nice.
definitely one that I'll be hopefully getting to complete it soon. But yeah, there's been so many games that have come out recently
Yeah,
that I've
yeah.
sort
I
of
think we've been
dropped it at the
spoiled
moment.
on Game Pass, haven't we? And that, I mean, I started it, and then I was thinking, oh, all these games that are going to come out, I don't know if I'm going to actually. And but I was like, no, I'm going to stick with this game
Yeah, no,
and
it's
finish it, and then I can then get onto the other games that were coming out, because obviously we had Oblivion, which sort of there was rumors that they were the remaster, but it wasn't. It was came out of the blue a little bit, didn't it? And
yeah.
then
Shadow dropped it. Just went here. It is.
a day later, then you had Expedition 33, which
Yeah, we'll get on to a bit. I've been playing that fairly a lot. I thought I was quite far into it, but I wasn't.
the reviews for that game have been. I haven't actually gone on it yet because I just.
Well, yeah, I like you. I started on South of Midnight, and I was like, "Oh, this is quite a good game." Then they shadow dropped Oblivion, which I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't think I never completed Oblivion. I played it, but I never actually completed it. So I was playing through that, and then I'd seen previews of Clear Obscure Expedition 33 saying it was really good, but then when it came out. I mean, the reviews have been, sort of 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, saying it's absolutely gorgeous, everything. But even before the reviews came out, I started playing it. Oh my God, it looks good. It is such a good looking game. It's Unreal Engine 5, which a lot of these games that are out now are using. And it's, when some of the characters' hair's moving as well, you get it, the hair doesn't really move very well. But the world they're in are so good, and the creatures they are fighting are so. They're very much. They remind me of like the ones in Elden Ring and that kind of thing. Weird. Hands, loads of hands coming out of a face, or some. There's one that's just like a, a bit of rock that spins around at you with legs, kind of thing. But it's a turn-based RPG. It's by a French studio, and there's a lot of French influence of the story, and the music is sort of a classical opera. There's quite a few genres, but mostly sort of your classical, but with French singers and this kind of thing. And it's what you would expect from a modern day Final Fantasy, but nothing like a modern modern day Final Fantasy, because they've gone all Final Fantasies now are all they're real time fighting. There's not a turn based, and the turn based has got perfect amount of strategy to it, so that and planning, and you've got elements, so you've got fire and lightning and earth and dark and all this kind of thing that can do more damage, and you've got different things that say somebody can mark an enemy, then the next person can hit them for more damage and all this kind of thing. So it's so tactical, and it's just done really well. But then not only is the gameplay really really good, but the acting, as soon as it starts, you're invested in these characters, and majority are likable. And yeah, there's obviously I won't give any spoilers, but I've completed Act 1, and there are not twists, but unexpected events. Let's say that. So yeah, there's a lot of, you don't quite know what's going on. You think there's something going on that nobody knows about, or this kind of thing. So I'm hoping that it all gets explained a bit more. I'm hoping, because if it doesn't, yeah, it won't be very good. But I've seen reviews of people who completed it, and they've said, yeah, it very much gets you right in the feels. And yeah, if you want to show off the power of whatever platform you're playing it on, this is the game to do it, because it just looks amazing. You can put somebody on a cliff that looks towards. I mean, I'll tell you the premise of it. I don't know if you've started it at all.
No.
You're in a town called or a city called Lumiere, and across the world, across the seas, there is this being called the Patress, and she started off by writing this giant 100, and it's anybody of a certain age that she writes dies, like basically disappears, like a bit like the Marvel snap kind of, they disappear into a bunch of petals kind of thing. And so every year they send off people who are going what they call the gamage the next year, go off, and other people, but people volunteer to go on an expedition to try and defeat this Paintress. So there was 100 by the Paintress, people who did the expedition 0. So yes, I think that's what it is. Hang on, I might have got the numbers wrong, but anyway, right now you do the people who are going on expedition 33.
So you're 33 years old, then, your character.
My
right?
character is 33. Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm not really spoiling anything, but the person that he loves with a passion and whatnot is the beginning of the game is her. It's her turn to disappear. So yeah, so it gets right in the field straight away, because the person who he loves just disappears in front of him, and yeah. But no, it's a very emotional game. It's gorgeous. Even if you don't like turn-based games, I know I say this about the Yakuza Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That if you don't like turn-based, just give these games. But this one, really give it a go and just try and get into the tactics of the games. There is a really easy mode, which basically is quite hard to die. Because what I've done, there's a level up, and occasionally, if something was, this is going on a bit long, I'd change the difficulty and make it a bit easy just so I could get through. And it's just really nice. Highly recommend it. It was a day one Game Pass, and it's another one that Game Pass has got an absolute banger. So South by Midnight, South from Midnight was got reasonable good reviews. Then they shadow dropped Oblivion, which has got again it's Oblivion, which is a classic. And then this comes out, which I mean, some people are saying it's not just a game of the year contender; it's a game of all time contender. I would say it's a JRPG of all time. I think in 10 years' time, when people go, "Oh, what JRPGs do you like?" Even though this is a French one, so technically it's an FRPG. It's very JRPG style. People will be going.
As Baldur's Gate 3, because that was turn-based, wasn't it? Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, it's very different to Baldur's Gate 3. It's nothing like that kind of game. Baldur's Gate 3, there's so many different endings that you can get. I mean, it's something like 1,200 different endings or something in Baldur's Gate 3. There is not that choice in this game. You don't have a choice to do this or whatever. You can get more people in your party who you can dictate which 3 people are in your party once you get past a certain point. And there are side quests where you can get. There are the baddies in certain areas are called Nevrons, but you'll come up to some Nevrons that are like, "Oh, please help me," and you can like one of them that I've just helped out said, "I need to be light so I could be a strong Nevron," and they're like, but you'll just attack us. So he's like, "No, I won't. I just want to shine." And so you have to find some crystals, and so you go and find some crystals and shove it in the butt of this Neveron, and hey presto, it shines and goes, "Thanks." But yeah, so it's a very different game to Baldur's Gate 3. The closest you're going to get is your Final Fantasy 13. So if you played Final Fantasy 13, it's that kind of game.
The turn-based games have done quite well recently in terms of reviews, because the Seed Gold 3 was turn-based, that got Game of the Year. This game is looking like a contender, and then you had Like a Dragons, which were really well reviewed, didn't they?
Yep.
So,
yeah.
People who say, "I don't like turn-based."
If you are like that and you're listening to this, just give it a go, and don't give it like 5 minutes ago. Don't like that. Really, just try and even put it on story mode and play it through on story mode, and just enjoy the scenery and the very easy battles. But if you like your From Software, there is that kind of game. There is also you have to button press when you're attacking at certain times, and so you have to QTEs basically, but you have to attack at a certain time, and you also have to defend or parry, dodge or parry. And the dodging is a lot easier. The window that you can press the button is a little bit bigger. But if you parry, if you get a perfect dodge, that's the equivalent of if you press the parry button, you can attack and dodge. So it's got a timing aspect to it that can increase your attack and decrease. In fact, most of the time when you dodge, you don't get attacked, so you can go through a whole fight and not get hit once. And it's just learning the patterns. So you might get attacked the first time by something that like holds. That's the thing. One thing that annoys me is like that sometimes imagine somebody's hitting you with a hammer. But every time that they hold up the hammer, you're like, "Oh god, they're going to hit me!" Oh no, they're not going to hit me. Bang! Kind of. It's like, oh damn it. So you'll dodge, and then it'll be like, no, they're still holding it back. So you don't dodge, and then dunk, it just attacks. But once you learn the patterns and whatnot, they're like the small bosses are the small enemies are quite easy. But then there's some really tough bosses, really, and there's optional bosses as well, which are sometimes not as hard as main bosses, but sometimes are a lot harder. But they're optional, and you can probably come back to them later when you're more powered up a bit more. So you level up, and you can very much change the build of how people how people in your party are. So you can have somebody that's very quick, somebody that's very powerful. You can upgrade weapons. So there's a lot of choice in that, and tactics. And then once you have these powers that you can link to each character, but then once that gets up to a certain level, you can pick that with a different scoring point. So you can then you basically learn the powers, and those powers are available for everybody. But you have a certain amount of points, and each power is worth a certain amount of points. So it gives you tutorials with everything, so you can learn it, and it's just so good, so good. It's not just hype; it is a really good game. For some, it won't be. Some people will be like, yeah, it's all right, but the vast majority, I think, if people give it a chance, especially if you're not sure, you will love it. So
I will definitely have a go on it at some point. Nothing to lose, as I have got Game Pass, so it's not like I've got to go and
Yeah,
spend.
it's a must play, even if you end up not liking it. I did play a bit of Oblivion. Did you play Oblivion?
No, I get the first Elder Scrolls game I played was Skyrim, so I missed
Okay.
Oblivion and Morrowind. I think it's the one before that, isn't it? So I am tempted to go, but there's just so many. Because also I finished South of Midnight, and then I was thinking, well, probably the next game I play will be Expedition 33 from Game Pass. So I just don't know when I'll get around to playing it. But...
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, the original came out 2006, so yeah, you were quite a bit younger. And it was, if you played Elder Scrolls Skyrim, it had a lot of quality of life improvements. Skyrim did. So Oblivion had some things that aren't as friendly as a Skyrim. So, like, look, one thing that a lot of people who've never played the original one that don't like, and to be honest, I don't like it, even though I played the original. I didn't play the original to death, but I played it for a while. As soon as I started it up, I'm like, oh yeah, this is crap. Is the lockpicking? Lockpicking is terrible. It's you'll get people going, oh, you should just get better at it. No, it's just not very good. But if you like the open-ended nature of Skyrim, if you like the world of Skyrim, where is it? Oblivion is. Oh, what is it called?
Tamriel or something like
that. Tamriel, that's the one. Yeah, if you like all that world and you like Skyrim and you like the fact that you can kill people if you really want to, or and this person's giving me a nice big quest now, I'll just kill them. Obviously, very important people to the story only go, in inverted commas, unconscious. So it's quite funny because you'll have somebody that be like, I'm the main person in the game. Thunk. They're unconscious. And then they'll wake up and go, hello, I've got this mission to give you. And you're like, thunk. They're unconscious. And they'll get up. Hi, I've got this mission to give you. Yeah, you really aren't getting the picture, are you? So, but for the majority of it, especially side quest giving people, you can go, yeah, I don't particularly like you, just kill them, whatever. You can steal things, and does this look better than Oblivion? Quite obviously, yes.
They added because I saw some reviews and things like that, and I saw that they've added you can sprint on it now, which apparently you couldn't do on the original game. So
okay, yeah, I couldn't remember that, to be honest, but yeah, that's they've upgraded a lot, but for the majority of it, there's still even some bugs in there that are in the original game. So it is a remaster with a few little sort of extra sort of quality of life kind of things. Yeah, I mean, Morrowind. If they remaster Morrowind, they'd have to bring that into the 21st century, because Morrowind was very much, here's a world, and it'd be like, where am I going to go? Whatever. You didn't know where you were going, what you were meant to do. There wasn't a journey, there wasn't a marker on a map telling you where to go or anything like that. Whereas Oblivion did have that, and it made everything a lot easier, and that's why it was really well loved, because people loved Morrowind, and then they made how everything worked better in Oblivion. But there are many people who love Morrowind still to this day, even more than Oblivion and Skyrim. I'm not one of them. It was a great game, especially for its time. But it's if I have to keep a pen and paper near me for a game to remind me of things, that's it's not generally a game I want to play. But yeah, Oblivion, it's great, and it's got Patrick Stewart in it. So what isn't there to like? Granted, he dies after about 5 minutes, but he's still in it. Captain Picard. So yeah, that was a great game, but it's just been. I think the people who made Clair Obscur were probably worried when this came out. But I think the hype that Clair Obscur has built up by just being really good, I think they've probably gone, oh, wow, excellent. Sorry, Oblivion, we've overshadowed you instead.
I can't imagine this year, I mean, like, thanks for Shadow dropping that a day before our game was about to be
Exactly. But as I said, I think it's the roles have reversed, and I think actually Clair Obscur has overshadowed Oblivion. That's not to say Oblivion hasn't been well received and isn't being played by a lot of people. Yeah, so fantastic. It's a fantastic time to have Game Pass. People for 5 years, the past 5 years, have been saying, "Oh, yeah, you got Game Pass, all right," but Xbox, they don't have exclusives and whatnot. And it's like, no, they don't have exclusives, but they've got these games, available in inverted commas for free if you subscribe. Yeah, so it's just really good. Really good.
In like 10 days' time, or less than 10 days' time, we've got Doom Dark Ages. So
yes, another one. It will be. I think it's only going to be for Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. If you're Game Pass Standard or Game Pass Core, you won't get access to that. Which, I'm an Ultimate subscriber because I play on PC and want cloud gaming as well. So, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm sure we will have a review.
Other games?
Yes, well, we've both been playing something, haven't we?
bit different. So before the big release of the Expedition 33 and Oblivion, Tempopo came out, didn't it? Between them and South of Midnight. I played it for about an hour, so I haven't played it properly, but I just felt like I saw it and I was like, read it and said about it being a puzzle game. So I was like, oh no, it's like quite easy. Like, it's not stressful.
Yeah.
Like puzzle, they can be stressful puzzle games, but it's not like a game where you're gonna die on it or whatever. So I from what I played on it, I quite enjoyed the puzzles that I did. I was saying
we should explain. It's basically you start with a world of various of squares, and you have the Tempopos, a little pink. What they like.
There could be multiple Tempopos, can't they?
Yeah, there could be one, there could be five, whatever, and they just walk. And you have to put instructions for them. The instructions can be as simple as a direction, or it can change what they do. It can make other Tempopos jump up. Yeah, it can turn them into a block. It can make them smash something in front of them. And then there are also enemies that are called chompers, I think.
Yeah, but then you have to use them to.
You have to use them to get rid of. To get rid of the spiky plants, and basically you have to get the Tempopos to collect flowers and then get to the exit. Now, they don't all have to get to the exit, only the ones with flowers have to get to the exit. So sometimes you might have them, they don't die, do they? It's just like a floating world, so they have a helicopter thing and then they float off the level. But yeah, it's got also the great thing is because I didn't play it first in my house. My son played it, who's 7, and it's got puzzle mode and adventure mode. Now, my son played adventure mode. Adventure mode, what it does, it has white squares on the patches where you can put the different. You could put the different instructions down. Whereas puzzle mode, it just says, get this Tempopo to the end, and you can put them anywhere. So the adventure mode is so much easier, a lot easier. And it was great for him. But if I was to play with my wife, we'd probably play the puzzle mode.
Yeah.
And then
all I would do is just. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish your point. before.
Oh no, I was just going to say, and then there's you when you collect the flowers, you have a garden that you can put
Yeah,
these
you can put
flowers
them in.
down,
Yeah,
and they're all like different musical instruments. The different flowers are because you get like different flowers in different levels, and so you can make like a repeating. It's like a sampler, really. You can make like a tune in the various gardens that you can put them down in. So yeah,
yeah. Because the longer I went, like I said, I only played it for about an hour. So like the starter ones are quite easy. Like,
yeah, they're more instructional, aren't they? They're,
but
they're tutorials.
the longer, when you go on a bit more, there are ones where it's like you've got like 7 instruction or 8 instruction, you've got 3 tempopo or 4 tempopos, and so I just kept doing the same thing. What I would do is I'll just start off, because you can start the game, there's like, you don't have lives or anything like that, so I would just start off, see where they would die, and I'd be like, okay, well, I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that's where I got to put instructions, and then I'd just keep doing that until got to the point where I was like, okay,
And
they're all
it's an instant restart as well. You just press a button and bam, it's they reset.
yeah. So it's you've got it. There is, you got some working out, but they've made it so you can just sit there, take your time. It's not like you've only got a limited amount of lives and you have to get it in this 5 goes or something, because I probably take about 15 goes
Well, I
watching.
think there's actually an achievement for using the reset button 300 times or something like that.
I'm probably close to that already.
So yeah, I mean, I just literally the one time just sat there going, and about I think a minute later, I easily pressed it and got the achievement. Yeah, it's great. As I said, it's got the level for hard. It's quite hard. Some of the puzzles are, but then if you got adventure mode, it's great. And there is a hint system as well, which will tell you where something should be. It will tell you what position, and you only have in adventure mode. You only have a finite number of each one. So you might have like 1 block and 2 like flying tempopos, so you know how many you've got to put, and there'll be the same amount of squares, so you can't put too many down. You can't put, so you might have to swap them around. But so the hint system there, and yeah, so it's been great for a 7-year-old, and it's great for your puzzle head.
You do like your puzzle games, don't you? So,
I do like my puzzle games.
one
I'm
of the
still trying blueprints as well. I'm playing that occasionally, but I'm finding that particularly hard because that game you have to just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you get lucky. Really, I mean there is strategy, but there's also a lot of luck in blueprints, and it deserves its high ratings. I'm just getting to the point now where I'm like, yeah, can't be bothered.
made it too difficult. And lastly, for me, I've playing Super Mario Wonder.
Yes,
You played
you've got
it.
physical, haven't you?
Yeah. Went and bought the game. I bought it from eBay for £25. I think I picked it up
No,
for.
not bad, not bad.
Um, yeah, I've had a Switch for a while, and I was like, well, I haven't been on it for a while, so let's have a look. And I've only had a chance to play it for about half an hour because I got it on Saturday. I think it was about 1:30, and then I had a kids party I had to go to at 2, and then another kids party at 5 till 7, and then I had another kids party today. So I've just had for the whole weekend, and I had chat about half an hour when I got back from my son's party. Not his, one that he attended. It wasn't actually his birthday party, but I
don't care if it's your birthday, boy. Leave it alone.
I wonder. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can give it like a full judgment yet,
but you have
it's
had
gonna
the
be a very
chance
good.
to play the amazing Piranhas on Parade level, which is about level 3 or something.
Yeah, when the
It's
piranha
so
stuff.
much fun. It's not particularly difficult or anything like that. It
See,
just
I thought
shows how
because
well it's made.
they looked like they were quite friendly when they're there, and I went over to one. I almost died. I like lost all my power ups, and I was like, okay, they actually do. You can't just walk over to them and like. I wanted to like sing with them and stuff. So
But it's so good. I mean, when we talked about it before, I said it's a lot like in Rayman Legends. You've got um, the musical levels, which are in time with the music, and it's very much like that. It reminds me of that, and yeah, it's just so well done. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I love Rayman Origins, but Rayman Legends. But yeah, Super Mario Wonder is a fantastic game. There are some really, I mean, you've got the stars on the level names, and I was like, yeah, these are all really easy kind of thing. And I'd got up to a level 4, and I think I'd even done a level 5, and then there was a 6-star level or something like that. I'm like, what? And I tried it, and I think no. Eventually, I was like, no, that's optional. I think I'll just go on to another level, thanks. So there are. If you want 100% that game, you are gonna have to be on your top game because there are some really, really hard levels. Well, then again, it's probably just me being stupid and crap. I'm just crap at games. But no, it's an awesome game, and for me, it's the best 2D Mario since Mario World, easily.
Yeah, I watched quite a lot of because I was like and ahhing about what game to get. So I was like, want to get a Switch game. I don't know. I was thinking out get Metroid Prime Remastered or Metroid Dread, and then both like a Zelda game, The Echoes of Wisdom, which I haven't played. So I was like looking at reviews and watching like videos and stuff, and then that Super Mario Wonder was always like it's one of the best 2D games that has ever been made, or it's the best Mario 2D game since Mario World, as you said as well. So
you didn't fancy a Princess? Was it Princess Peach Showtime or something?
No, that never came up. It was out of the Metroid games, Echoes of Wisdom, which is where you play as Zelda, and I did look at Luigi's Mansion 3 as well. But yeah, Peach's
Showtime
never appealed.
No, it wasn't actually. It wasn't received with a. It was received with a meh review. I think generally it was sort of 7 out of 10s, which people were like, yeah. Right. But as for a first party Nintendo game,
they're always
that was pretty poor.
80s, 90s,
pretty poor. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are other first party Nintendo games that haven't done that well, but yeah, it's just a shame because it reinforces their reliance on their core characters like Mario and
Zelda.
Mario and Zelda, basically, because
Donkey Kong, Metroid, but they don't really release Metroid games, so
I'm assuming there's obviously within Nintendo there's various first party studios that are well known. So I'm not really up on it, but so I presume the Metroid studio is different to ones that do Mario and whatnot. I don't know.
I mean, they did Metroid Dread, didn't they? Which I want to try.
That was your sort of old school 2D, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was
2.5D. Yeah.
Whereas, Metroid Prime 4. I mean, Metroid Prime 3 came out on the Wii, I think, which was a long time ago. So there's a big gap between Metroid Prime.
I'll just look at. I'm trying to look up.
I don't know. Is Donkey Kong Nintendo? Because I know Donkey Kong was.
Well, this is what I think. I think that.
I know it was Rare, but I think that was like they stopped doing them after like Nintendo 64, and it probably all the Donkey Kong Country.
Okay, there you go. So they've got Retro Studios Inc. is an American video game developer and subsidiary of Nintendo. They're known for its work on the Metroid Prime and Donkey Kong series. So
I would say Tropical Freeze on the Wii U and they released on the Switch I reckon that's up there one of the best 2D games ever.
Which one's that? Say again. Sorry.
Tropical Freeze. Donkey Kong
Okay.
Tropical Freeze.
Yes, they did that one. They did that on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that's
so they've done Metroid Prime, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime Hunters, Metroid Prime 3, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mario Kart 7. They worked on some of it. They were involved with that. Tropical Freeze and Metroid Prime Remastered, and then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which will be coming out this year.
yeah,
obviously.
On the Switch and Switch 2.
Yes, which I have played, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, great game. I think from what I've played, it will be a very good game. I'm still thinking about using the Joy-Con as a mouse, and I'm like, eh. It works very well. It's just holding it it gives me the same vibes as just holding a current Nintendo Switch, which gives me hand cramp after about 5-10 minutes.
Pro controller.
Yeah, Pro controller works absolutely fine. And most of the games I played had a choice. Some of them had a choice of Pro controller. Because when I first played Mario Kart, I played it with their Pro controller, and the Pro controller felt absolutely lovely. It felt like a real high quality controller. So I highly recommend getting one of them. Although they're bloody expensive, aren't they? The Pro controller, the actual first party.
Yeah, I got a Pro controller on my Switch, but that's what I use. I don't really use like the Joy-Cons or anything.
Yeah, the Switch 2 Pro controller. I'm just looking up, is £75, whereas the current Pro controller is £50. So the new one's going to be £20, £25 more. But it was an absolute. It feels really nice in the hands, and the movement of the sticks, it feels very smooth. Yeah. If somebody had taken off all the branding of it and given it to me and said, "How much would you think that this retails for?" I probably would have said, "Oh, this feels like a professional, like a pro controller, like an actual professional controller." So I would have put it in the £100 plus margin. It felt really good. It had a good. It's one thing I didn't like as well. I don't like the current Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, because not only were they really short, but they just felt really light. There was no force to move them. They felt really floppy. And no man likes a floppy. So there was still a bit of force to them. It was stiffness, I suppose, and it felt really good. So it'll definitely be worth the money to get first party ones.
Don't like the floppy, but you like the stiffness.
Yeah, I don't like it floppy. I do like a nice stick in my hand. Yeah. Take that as you will. Whatever you want. So, and on that note, we were going to be doing a handheld episode this week, because we did speak to Tommy Keogh last episode about his book, where we were going to review it this week. Unfortunately, it's been problems, so we haven't actually received the book yet to review it. So we will be getting round to it, and we will be having a handheld special regarding that. Also, Tom wasn't particularly well today, so that's why he's not here. He's not dead, not like Martin. Martin's dead still. It's just his ghost that's talking here right now. But yeah, so stay tuned to another episode. We will have that handheld history of handheld consoles review, and Tom will be back, and
I'm sure there'll be some arguments about what was the best Game Gear.
Well, you know that me and you won, didn't we? We won with the Game Gear, and Tommy agreed that he said I didn't get a chance to say to him, but I was like, yeah, me and Martin were on for the Game Gear, and I just think the Game Gear is the one that's aged well. It still has a terrible battery life if you put 6 AAAs in and whatnot, but yeah, I think it's aged well. And don't get me wrong, the Game Boy hasn't aged rubbish. It just hasn't got any better. Whereas now, if you look back at the Game Gears, it's really good. Anyway, that's for a future episode.
Yes.
So that was episode 93. And like and subscribe, leave a review, ask us any questions on our Facebook, preferably, because that's where we're on more. But I do sometimes check the Instagram. Yeah. And on that note, bye. You're not going to say goodbye?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I said it when you said it. Goodbye.
Oh, all right then.
Merged into your.
I think maybe my microphone just squashed your voice. So sorry, I'll shut up now so you can say goodbye.
Bye.